Good evening. This topic has been on my mind, and I want to share it with you. There are many videos right now about healing from narcissistic abuse, and a lot of them are layered with sarcasm, anger, bitterness, and it's understandable because these people who are telling you about their experiences with narcissism are actually very good people. They're kind people, and they've been hurt. And some of them find this platform as a warning shot for you, a guide for you. They recommend psychiatric help, which I completely agree with. I was one of those people that healed from narcissistic abuse, and I will admit that I kind of did it the hardcore way because I didn't think that I needed psychiatric help at first. I did get it later, so please don't think that I was anti-mental health. I did get it later, but I didn't get it in a way to spill my guts, so to speak. I did it in a way to reflect the work that I was doing myself. It's easy and difficult to heal from narcissistic abuse, especially if it's long-term abuse. But even though the solutions are easy, they're not simple to do because there is ownership in your part. You see, a lot of people who look up narcissism and abuse, a lot of them don't want to be responsible for their part in the whole thing. You see, there's always two people to dance. And unless you are a child who's still living under your parents' roof, you do have free will. Now, I know that doesn't sound pleasant, and I know that sounds blame-esque, but it really isn't. You see, I'm going to tell you a few steps on how you can heal from narcissistic abuse. And as you can tell from the way I'm talking about it, this isn't really a revenge kind of thing, although I am okay with revenge if you want to do that. But if you really just kind of want to move on, because after a while, it will happen. The revenge part of you will heal, and then you will see these people for what they are. And you'll actually pity them, and you'll use that energy to heal yourself. The first step is you have to admit that the people who raised you were not good people. This doesn't mean that they're evil people. This just means that they were not good people to you. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially when hearth and home and family is kind of ingrained in us, and we refuse to see our caretakers as people. We only see them as saints and priests, but we don't see them as human beings who are just as faulty as anyone else. If you are listening to this right now, that means that you are a victim of narcissistic abuse, which means you were groomed that way, which means the people who said they love you did not love you because they didn't teach you one of the most important lessons in your life. Well, actually, two. How to have confidence and how to have boundaries. And they intentionally did not teach you this because they wanted to groom you to be supply for themselves, because deep down inside, they didn't love themselves. So you have to look at your parents and you have to hold them accountable. That part is not your fault. That's their fault. But you have to look at them that way and you have to treat them differently. The second part is that you have to take responsibility for yourself, for your actions, for your part in the play with a narcissistic person. This could be a spouse, this could be a boyfriend, a lover, a boss, a friend. You have to take responsibility for your part because narcissists don't do it alone. As I said before in my other videos, narcissistic people look for easy people to take advantage of, not hard people. Narcissistic people do not hunt people who have boundaries, who have confidence. They hunt for weak prey. They hunt for people who want to be givers and doormats and people pleasers. As I said before, hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. But then there's a line where if you are prey, you are going to attract a predator. If you are a doormat, you are going to attract dirty feet. When you take responsibility for you not saying no, for you not having boundaries, for you allowing yourself to be hurt by this person, that means you're truly free. That means that you can change the scenario because you did the hard part. You admitted to yourself that you were your own villain and that now you can protect yourself as you should. The third thing is that you have to, after a while, if you decide to play with a narcissist, which they're very easy to play with, but when you're done, you have to cut them out completely. You literally have to cut them out. If you are working with one, get another gig, get another job, get away from this person because they're not going to change. The longer a person is the way that they are, the more they're going to stay the same or get worse. It's very, very rare for a narcissistic person to get better. That takes too much work. So they're going to gradually get worse the older they get. If you have a spouse, divorce your spouse. It will not get any better. I can promise you that. It will actually get worse. If you divorce your spouse and you have children together, make sure you always have someone with you during visitation rights. Make sure of it. Never go by yourself, ever. Always have a barrier between you and this person. Fourth, talk to someone you care about but who will be honest with you. A lot of people who go through narcissistic abuse don't want to hear the truth because they feel that their ego can heal the other person and it can't. So they shut a lot of their friends out. And if you are still friends with these people, if they still want you in their lives, have a talk with them and ask honestly, are you this bad of a person? Ask honestly, are you so horrible? Ask honestly if you're as beautiful as you were told or if you're as ugly as you're told. Ask for the honest truth and accept it. Because believe it or not, a neutral observer is going to tell you the truth. 5, once you have all of these things packed away, forgive yourself. That's going to be the hardest. That's going to be harder than cutting someone off. That's going to be harder than being told what you are and what you aren't. You're going to have to forgive yourself and know that you are amazing. The narcissistic person in your life spent a lot of time breaking you down iota by iota because they want to make sure that you were your own enemy. And if you're fighting yourself, you're easy to manipulate. But if you forgive yourself, you take your time and you love yourself and you learn. And you learn who you are. That's when you start to heal. That's when you start to be ravenous about your boundaries. When you forgive and love yourself and accept yourself where you're at. If you want to improve, completely improve. If you're okay where you are, that's good too. But this is the hardest step. Is you have to forgive yourself. Note, I didn't say you had to forgive that other person. You didn't have to forgive them. You don't have to forgive the narcissist. You don't have to forgive these people. because they're slimy people. They're horrible people because they don't want to do the work that I am asking you to do. They don't want to forgive themselves. And typically they don't want to forgive themselves because despite the abuse they endured, they did some bad things too because they felt they were justified to do it. The difference between you and them, despite the trauma that you both had to take, is that they decided to be self-centered and to prey on someone else. You decided to give to someone else. So now use this time to forgive yourself and give yourself a chance to heal. Be selfish. Be self-centered, but don't be cruel. Take care of yourself. Put yourself first. And slowly but surely, you'll come to an equilibrium. Slowly and surely, you'll become healthy. And then those healthy people that you always wish you were a part of, they will start to come into your life. These are my steps on healing. I know them personally because I've done them myself. And my life has changed dramatically. My friends have changed dramatically. My boundaries have changed dramatically. And the toxic people that used to be in my life have somehow, some way, found themselves out of it. It's up to you to heal yourself. It's up to you to be your best self. And you know what? I believe in you. Get started. It's time.